All right, Mark, thank you. The Food and Drug Administration could give full approval to Pfizer's COVID-19 vaccine as early as next week. This comes as hospitals across the U.S. fill up with COVID patients. Johns Hopkins University says more than 1 million new cases have been reported in just the past week. Right now, the CDC says hospitalization rates are below the highs met in January, but that could change within the next few weeks.
What is so heartbreaking is that these hospitalizations for those who are unvaccinated are preventable. The loss of life for those who are in their 20s and 30s is preventable. We need them to get vaccinated.
About 51% of the total U.S. population is now fully vaccinated. And as those COVID cases climb, the vaccination effort is becoming more urgent. As 13 WHAM's Jane Chaco tells us, pop-up clinics are making a big impact. Jane?
Dan, experts tracking vaccination rates find having those one-on-one conversations with people who are vaccine hesitant are successful. But in some cases, it's a matter of being in the right place at the right time. Larry Pearsall Sr. says he comes to the Puerto Rican festival every year. One of the workers at the pop-up clinic approached him about the vaccine, and he decided to get the shot in minutes.
Well, I've been debating it since we were supposed to get it, but I've been putting it off because you hear all these theories about people dying or whatever. So I came here with my friend, and I decided to get it. You know what I mean? Why not? I'm here.
One woman says she got the shot because of the Delta variant.
Some people sick.
To date, more than 70% of those eligible in Monroe County have had at least one dose of the COVID vaccine. But the decision to get vaccinated doesn't come as easy to everyone. There are still disparities in communities of color. Regional data shows zip codes with dense Latino communities have lower vaccination rates.
There's a lot of medical mistrust, and then there's a history of racial discrimination, so that has been a huge one. They're thinking that the vaccine was made too quickly.
Daisy Ruiz-Marin with Ibero-American Action League says they have found success in bilingual outreach workers going door to door answering questions families might have about the vaccine.
We're sending outreach workers into the community that look like them. I think that has been huge. They're able to go ahead and see themselves in them and see that they're representing their race and ethnicity.
The number of COVID patients in the hospital are up in the Finger Lakes area, 134 on Saturday compared to 118 on Friday. Jennifer Gutowski at Rochester Regional Health says most of their COVID patients are unvaccinated.
Some of them are on a ventilator at this point. You can't even ask them, would you wish you had gotten the vaccine?
While vaccination rates are slowly increasing, Gutowski says at this point, reaching herd immunity is not as realistic as it used to be.
From a healthcare perspective, many people are exhausted at this point that we're still seeing the outbreaks persist, and knowing that we do have a lot of tools that can really alleviate much of what we're seeing.
Last week, the CDC recommended a third vaccine dose for immunocompromised people, and it's expected to recommend booster shots for the general public next month.
Still stuck in Kabul, an Afghan woman with ties to Rochester. She and her family are hoping they'll be next to make it to safety. 13 WHAM's Tyler Brown tells us she dreams of coming back here. Tyler?
Yeah, that's right, Dan. A decade ago, she studied at Nazareth College, but later moved back to Afghanistan to make a difference in her own country as a women's activist. Now she and her family are hoping to come back here to keep her family safe.
I just want to be in a place that the future of my kids are ensured.
A week after we first spoke with this Afghan mother of three, she and her family are now a bit closer to freedom. But as the days go by, she says the struggle grows.
You don't have any place to go, no park, no cinema, no friends to meet, no outside to go, no TV, no song.
She tells us she was able to move closer to the Kabul airport, where thousands of American and Afghan allies are being evacuated.
I just wanted to be closer to the airport, not to go to the airport, just because, it's really dangerous.
On her way there, she noticed the country she loved and called home was no longer the same, and her 12 years working for the U.S. Embassy made her and her family a target of the Taliban.
They make me a role model to other girls that if you work with U.S. government-related agencies, you will be raped, you will be violated, you will be killed.
As she waits for the chance to get on a plane, she reminisces about her time studying at Nazareth College and says what she was taught helped her become a women's activist.
I'm believing on the things that I have learned from Rochester City, Nazareth College, and I believe that even Taliban has ruined all my dreams. It doesn't mean that the things that I have learned from those people and my dreams were wrong.
Her dream now is to finally make it out of Kabul and bring her family to Rochester. And just like thousands of Afghan people there, she is currently waiting to get her papers in order to flee the country. In my interview with her, her message to the U.S. government was, quote, "I worked for you. I trusted you. Please don't leave us behind."
A dark day at Frontier Field as the Red Wings hosted their grim and depressing guest of honor. Nothing says Rochester quite like a snowy Saturday in August, or the hometown team's sense of humor, welcoming a grim and depressing guest of honor.
All the way from Brooklyn, New York, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, let's hear it for Maureen Callahan.
In 2019, when Wegmans welcomed customers to its first downstate store, Callahan, a columnist for the New York Post, covered the opening, writing the company didn't originate from hipster upstate, but rather grim and depressing Rochester.
This city is far from grim and depressing, It's just awesome town.
Callahan's comments sparked a firestorm on social media and an offer to prove her wrong.
So first you're kind of, well, maybe a little bit angry, and then I was like, actually it's kind of amusing.
Getting in on the action, the Red Wings offered the Brooklyn writer the chance to throw out the first pitch at a game as dark as her words.
So when these shirts came out, we immediately got some.
Her welcome to the mound met with mixed reaction.
Stay classy, Rochester, stay classy.
And her pitch, nothing to write home about. But Callahan stepped up to the plate and even made some friends in the Flower City.